the transformation and the shifts, they were here all along. The speed, we're just like maxing to 15x the speed that
Mhm.
we were seeing before. So it's like VUCA times 11, right? So it's when we think about this, people labels were being already scrutinized for ingredient transparency and sourceability and responsibility across the. It's not just about putting a recyclable pack out on the shelf and then it takes X many times the carbon footprint that the previous one was. So I think to Jada's point, like it's not even that you can smell bullshit from a mile away. Like the bullshit comes in way faster than you're able to say something out. So I think the ability that businesses have had to figure out that holy crap, we can remote work, like that's a pretty amazing new discovery that was there all along. But in that same way, I think the discovery around people can work remotely, that can be okay. Companies should be responsible for the stuff that they put out the door, and that is a standard that I believe not the entire world will suddenly come to terms with, because we know that there's people that generally don't care about this, but more and more people really really care about the impact that something has in their lives first and foremost, because their body is their temple. And I think if anything, in an unprecedented global pandemic in the scale that we're experiencing this issue, the influence of what happens when you stop supply chain here and all of the products that you love or that you feel are right for you disappear from the shelf, you start really thinking about what do you consume and how do you consume it in every single way, from cleaning to beauty to food to even your living arrangement choices. They all go through a very strong filter that was already, there are pockets of those happening. What you're seeing right now is like they're all kind of like mushing into this giant ball of acceleration that I think we have no turning back point. So people will never go back to the grocery store shopping in the same way that they used to, even if it's in a small way. The way to look at the shelf, or the way to look at the pantry, or the way to look at what you put in your body from a hygiene or from a food perspective, all of those, they have been there all along. The search for purpose in your life, the search for companies that don't throw garbage on the ocean all the time. I believe that we're now more glued to our screens than we ever have before, and we can see all of it happening in real time all the time. It might have been happening before, but I think it's more visible and people are more sensitive to it because we're just like hyper aware of everything, which is quite frankly a lot of the components of the stress that we already talked about, because all of it is very it's very taxing on everyone.